Not so long ago that Dimitrov was in Zverev's shoes, a player touted for big things as a teenager. Now, at the age of 23, beginning to really deliver on that promise. Dimitrov to get us underway.
It was a long final in Stockholm. 2 hours plus against Burdick. I know that he didn't leave, I didn't arrive here, I think I'm running thing till Monday evening. There's a couple of issues with his flights getting across from Stockholm. Zverev, on the other hand, has been here a while. He's been practicing with Nadal and Federer. He's been hitting with both those guys. In fact, warmed Nadal up this morning.
Dimitrov not really settled yet, and 3 early break chances for the underdog.
It's a sort of aggressive play we saw a lot in Hamburg that week. He certainly was not afraid to try, and if he had an opportunity, had an opening, he would try and make it happen, try and force the issue.
Very slim build, isn't he? Zverev.
Yeah.
Almost pipe cleaner like. Sure he'll add some muscle in the years ahead. Still a breakpoint opportunity.
You kind of sort of feel though he's got a perfect feel for tennis, isn't he? He's got that wiry, kind of fairly long-limbed, as you say. Put some bulk on there, and I think you know, as a prototype, you've got a fairly kind of model sort of athlete.
Really let rip with the return.
Zverev.
Fourth breakpoint chance. And he scores the early break, so that's the perfect start for the 17-year-old.
First game.
Yeah, rusty from Dimitrov, wasn't it? Just allowed his man off to 3 straight points, 3 errors off the bat. Not entirely sure what balls they were using in Stockholm, and I understand they're fairly kind of uniform over the next couple of weeks. But, slow start.
Alexander Zverev to serve.
Pretty well here last year, Dimitrov. Lost in the quarterfinals, eventually to Federer. Damien Dumassoir in the chair. And Zverev just wanting some confirmation about this one. He's going to challenge. I think just in the nick of time. It's one thing umpires have been hot on. Certainly this year they've been really urging players to try and challenge quicker. And good one.
Zverev, the more composed of the pair in the very early stages. Good chance to back up the early break. Which he does with aplomb, a love hold.
Yeah, we talked a lot about Borna Choric's backhand, didn't we, earlier on how good a shot that is. You can see how technically sound Zverev's is off that two-hander as well. Good acceleration, good racket head speed through the ball. Because he's so tall as well, he's able to really come down on that sort of shot. Perfect start.
Dimitrov not looking concerned, but he's not really middling the ball at the moment.
Works him out of position. Good defence from Zverev, but just got to put this one short. Why is he trying to hit the ball deep? Service line will do perfectly, and I'll wake up pretty quick here because the set could be done.
Better from Dimitrov. It was a good return. Much more assured with the volley on this occasion.
Just a little more on the second serve on that occasion. Zverev had read it, he was out there, he was waiting for it, but a bit more pace on it, and a little tougher to control.
Tall guy is Zverev, 6'6". Dimitrov no slouch at 6'3". Good response there from the Bulgarian from love 30. Really needed to kick into gear and did so. But he's still a break behind to the teenager, Alex Zverev, with a 2-1 lead.
Time.
Encouraging start for the 17-year-old Alex Zverev of Germany. He has the early break. Grigor Dimitrov taking 3 games to find his feet. Zverev with a 2-1 lead first set.
Mr. Dimitrov is showing the ball on the right center service line. The ball was called in. Goal stands 15.
Second serve ace from the German.
Looking very comfortable in that matchup at the moment, isn't he, when they're going backhand cross court?
13.
He's putting under a great deal of pressure with a single-hander right now. That is one of the problems that Dimitrov does encounter. See it a lot when he plays Djokovic. Struggle to try and get the better of those sorts of exchanges. Any two-hander come to that. A little bit flat right now, isn't he?
14-15.
Definitely the sharper of the two. Pretty positive individual is Roger Rashid, but I expect he'll be a little disappointed with what he's seen so far. Sets the bar very high, with whoever he's working with.
Formerly coach to the former world #1 Leighton Hewitt, of course. Rashid.
He got his 3-wood out there when he was 7 foot buried in the rough. Because that was a shot to nothing.
14-30.
That backhand isn't firing at the moment. Zverev stays a break to the good.
Zverev leads 3 games to 1.
Yeah, getting back to Roger Rashid, he likes to talk about his non-negotiables, doesn't he, when he takes on a new charge. He's a pretty uncompromising sort of a coach, very much a my way or the highway sort of approach, but he's certainly taken that guy's game to a new level this year.
15.
coach will ultimately be judged on the results of the player, and for the most part, he's got players going in the right direction. That's what it's all about. Not exactly a lot of job security these days in that particular role, is there? But, good coach surely has to be a good leader, someone who can tap into their player and kind of get in their mind, understand how they're thinking.
13-15.
The match-up in personalities is so important, isn't it?
It's everything. You know, you go back to Lendl and Murray. That's why Lendl and Murray worked, because for the period of time they were together, they understood, they saw the world in the same way. They understood they were very similar people.
Shared this left field sort of humour. At the other end of the spectrum, Jimmy Connors and Maria Sharapova, I think they lasted until a change of ends, didn't they? Two great players, of course, in their own right, Sharapova and Connors, but the chemistry was just lacking. Zverev leading 3-2 with a break in the opening set over the number 5 seed, Dimitrov.
Time.
Healthy crowd still in here at the Sir Jakobshalle. They've already watched Roger Federer demolish Gilles Muller of Luxembourg in straight sets. Took just 45 minutes for Federer to progress in his bid for a 6th Basel title. Here we see one of the most promising youngsters in the game today, the youngest player on the main tour, Alex Zverev. A break to the good against Grigor Dimitrov in the opening set. It's been that kind of set for Dimitrov so far. He's just not timing it.
Yeah, we talked about the sometimes deficiencies in the return department, and that's not got the range so far in that area already. Just won the 2 points behind Zverev's serve. Against Zverev's serve, should I say.
Good challenge from the Bulgarian. So second serve for Zverev. The concern for Dimitrov is that when he is getting into the rally, he's being outplayed in that department as well, thus far.
Yeah, just a little slow to pick that one up either. I mean, it wasn't hit overly hard. It was into the space, but Dimitrov just a little slow to get there.
First double fall to the match. Zverev not having a lot of joy on first serve so far, down at 30%.
slice down the line on 2 occasions. It changed the context of the rally, doesn't it? You've got to try and get out of that pattern. And the slice down the line, forcing then Zverev to go cross-court. That opens Dimitrov's forehand. Better point all round.
And a window of opportunity at 30 all.
That's it. Again, Zverev.
Zverev holds though.
Zverev leads 4 games to 2.
Looks very composed. Dimitrov needs to find an extra gear. Coached by his father, Zverev Senior.
15.
Lack of intensity about Dimitrov's game at the moment. He's very passive out there, which is unlike him.
15. That's it.
Going through the motions, rather.
Stiff still, that would suggest he might be, but as you say, he just hasn't got going at all. The backhand's been a liability out here so far.
What an opportunity to Zverev to really capitalise on this rather indifferent beginning from the Bulgarian. A break down and 2 break points down. That had members of the front row at the back end of the court in some danger. Hitting the backboard on the full.
Just not quite able to come round the outside edge of the ball enough on that occasion to get the ball low enough. Comfortable height for Dimitrov on the volley.
Again, the backhand is suspect.
Advantage.
Not even under any pressure is he on that shot, and that's the concerning part about it. I mean, it's just a routine sort of rally sort of shot. I feel Zverev's going to grab this set. This is a key point. Got to get a double break here. Easy for the top players once they start to feel it, start to get warm. He's obviously a little bit tight after last week. Different conditions. Zverev's got to keep him down. Try and knock the stuffing out of him, and he's not going to get any joy with that challenge.
forehand now faltering as well for Dimitrov. Another chance, the double break.
Mr. Zverev has 2 challenges remaining.
And he's got it. Dimitrov rooted at the baseline, watching it whistle past his right ear, and it's Zverev who is dominating this opening set. Something of a surprise. The 17-year-old in control, leading 5-2.
Last point again, you can see how well he hits the backhand return, drags it quickly across the court, takes it out in front. Dimitrov again just a little slow to react to the return.
Time.
Well, even Alex Zverev looks a little surprised at the ease in which he has cruised into a 5-2 lead and a double break lead over the number 5 seed here, Grigor Dimitrov, who's had a breakthrough year. Winner of 3 titles on grass, hard court and clay. Semi-finalist at Wimbledon, winner at Queen's, but out of sorts in this first set. Zverev with a golden opportunity to capitalise.
He's so quick along the baseline as well. Dimitrov not even offering a chase for someone. He's not a million miles away. Look where he is when he hits it. He's inside the court, but Dimitrov puts head down and lets it go by.
If there was such a thing as half-time in tennis, Nick, I'm not sure I'd want to get the hairdryer treatment from you-know-who if I was Grigor Dimitrov. I think Mr. Rashid will have 1 or 2 choice words for his charge. Zverev, 2 points from the first set, which is only 28 minutes old. Again, the return not working for Dimitrov. Very few things have in this first set. Doesn't look too concerned. Perhaps that in itself is a worry. Too easy for the 17-year-old. Grigor Dimitrov being played off the court. He has lost that first set comprehensively. Zverev with the advantage, having taken it 6-2.
Yeah, slow start for Dimitrov and was not able to recover his situation either. You can see there the first serve points won 100%. He's returning very poorly tonight. We highlighted that's been an issue for him in recent weeks, and it's proving again 9 from 9. That is, in fact, he's only lost 4 points in all behind his serve in the entire set. As Zverev, and he looks dominant so far. Plenty of winners. The unforced error ratio way too high for Dimitrov. Something's up right now, and he needs to get things going. Otherwise, it's going to be a short and sweet trip to Basel. So set number 2, and a lot of work to do. Needs to dig deep here, Dimitrov. As far as Zverev goes, he's not won a match on the main tour. Of course, he hasn't played many matches, but not won a match on the main tour since that run he had in Hamburg. And he saves his best for the big ones. There's Zverev. Wes Wilkinson's back out alongside myself, Nick Lester. That backhand looking very competent.
15-13.
Taken the route this year, Zverev, to display the one junior event, having won the Australian Open, has dipped his feet in the seniors. In fact, more than dipped his feet in the seniors. That's entirely what he's done. He's shied away and moved away from the junior game. Very successfully, he's been with it too, as Dimitrov does hold. So, Chris, you've been in the situation of coaching these youngsters a lot, I know, and as a 16, 17-year-old, obviously he's pretty special, this kid. So I'd imagine that's not that much of a tough decision, is it? A brave one, though, to wave goodbye to the juniors.
Yes, it's the right decision because he's better than that now. He needs to be challenged. He needs to put himself in the big tournaments. That's the direction he's taking. I think over the years his scheduling's been good because he's played some junior tournaments, finished the year #1 in the world at the end of 2013. Korichat #2, incidentally, that finished the year. But he's played some futures tournaments as well. It's only really the latter stage of this year that he's been able to step up to the bigger tournaments. And in fact, I saw him beginning of 2013. I was taking a team into the Winter Cup. He was playing for the Germans. And you can kind of see then that this guy had a big game, and the question marks about him then was his mental side. He quite easily lose it on court. It's good to see that he's kind of controlled his emotions a little more over the last year.
That's kind of the first sign there, really, of just a little bit of negativity, wasn't it?
Going back to that event, I mean, the Germans didn't actually win it; that they lost in the final to the Russians. And another exciting junior on tour now is Andrei Rublev, who actually played for the Russian team.
Yeah, Rublev got a wild card last week in Moscow and lost to Sam Groth in the first round. Very similar in build, actually, Rublev to Zverev. Nothing of them.
But one of the other issues that Zverev has had this year is the growing spurts as well, that they've had to sort of really manage his training. his tournaments.
First wobbly game, really, of the match from Zverev. A slightly bemused look after that miss, and it was a big miss as well. And here's a chance for Dimitrov to assert himself in this match, really for the first time. For one of the first times, he puts a really healthy return into play. Perfect length, it set the point up for him. And Dimitrov does break to lead 2-0.
Dimitrov leads 2-2.
Yeah, difference there for Dimitrov, just making a few more returns in that particular game. You highlighted the first set, he really struggled on the returns, and that's something he's got to really try and get going in this second.
We talk about the mind, and and you saw him a year and a half ago how he had the game and not the mind. I guess you'd rather it be that way around, wouldn't you? You'd rather a player have the game and somewhat being able to train the mind, as opposed to them perhaps not having the tools to compete and yet having a really good mind.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he was pretty much brought up in tennis. I mean, his brother, as I'm sure you've already mentioned, was a player on the tour. But he used to literally, Zverev used to sit on the court when his family was playing and his brother was playing.
A little like Dolgopolov.
Yeah.
I guess similar to him, right?
I mean, he grew up with all the German players. That's why Hamburg was interesting. So the players that he basically sat on the side of the court watching his brother play. He was playing in the main draw of the tour event. It's almost like he was destined to do something in the game. Right environment, right genes.
Mr. Dimitrov is checking the call on the right service line. The ball was pulled out. Guys, overturn. Game Dimitrov.
And the ball does catch the line. Zverev now has some work to do. For the first time, he finds himself in some bother. He's down 3-love, having grabbed the opening set.
Dimitrov leads 3-2. Time.
So, love 3.
Interesting. I like looking back at the path of players and what they achieve at a certain age when you compare, the top players and the juniors that are coming up now. Because it's been exciting, I think, today seeing Coric play and Zverev play the future of the game. And in particular, if you look at their first ATP Tour win. Djokovic was 17 years and 5 months. So already Chorich was a 17 8 months, Zverev 17 3 months. So you can almost say they're on the path, if there is a path to be on.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, if they're on the Djokovic path, they're on the right one, aren't they? To the summit of the game.
Youngest player to win the first ATP Tour match.
Leighton Hewitt. Stunning.
That's a good shout, but he was 16 years 11 months. Hewitt was actually the youngest player to win an ATP Tour title at the same age, 16 years 11 months. But actually Nadal was 15 years 10 months when he actually won his first ATP Tour match.
Oh, stunning hands from the German. That's really impressive.
Yeah, lovely little cushion here.
40,
Just laying the racket back there. No follow through.
Well, Tony Godstic has arrived. Courtside, of course, Dimitrov's agent, along with Federer's stable too. He looks after that kind of mini little group of players with Del Potro, breakaway agency that he has. So Ross Hutchins here earlier on as well. He's just taken over his role as the Vice President of Player Relations, former doubles player. Another reaction that you want to see from the Bulgarian. Well, it's a good point, but again for me, Dimitrov just looks so laboured in his movement. He's just not, there's no reaction, there's no explosiveness.
Yeah, very flat. We'll see that from a couple of players this week. I think it's the getting towards the end of the season syndrome. Wawrinka yesterday really struggled. Gulbis today.
In truth, Dimitrov hasn't played a lot of tennis, has he really, in the last couple of months or so?
He's very
confident. And this is wide. His hopes are rather deflated.
50, Zverev has 2 challenges remaining.
Pretty short from Zverev. That's a routine forehand and missed by Dimitrov.
Open the door for the German here. Right, it's good hustle. Dimitrov once again looking laboured on the far side of the court. Something definitely not right this evening. As Zverev breaks back immediately. And this German is a believer in his own abilities. 3-2.
Time.
Good day so far for the young guns, if we can call them that, to inside the St. Jakobshalle. Corner Chorich earlier on showing Ernest Gorbis the way. Gorbis, to be fair, not fit. Zverev playing some good ball tonight. And being aided and abetted by what is somewhat a head-scratchingly poor show so far from the Bulgarian.
Yeah, sloppy. A lot of unforced errors from Dimitrov.
Well, I like the change-up, and to be fair, I think it worked out exactly how he wanted it to, but again, just a lack of footwork.
Yeah, that's what's so important there. That, Zverev, he made the ball, didn't he? He just asked the questions, and if Dimitrov's going to give you some cheapies, keep making him play.
That did look to be a very tired forehand from Dimitrov. Three games in a row for the man ranked 135 in the world.
3 games on. Love 15.
Zverev did well, making hit another ball, and actually had quite a bit of work to do here still, Dimitrov.
Next for service. That's it.
Well, it's beginning to get serious as far as Grigor Dimitrov goes here. He's totally flat right now, and he has been really from the off, and more break points for the teenager.
His second serve as well, wasn't it?
Zverev still the break point.
Mr. Zverev to change the ball on the right service line. The ball was called in. That's use. Mr. Zverev has one challenge remaining. Next, service. Advantage, Dimitrov. Dimitrov.
Well, it's a chance missed, and how much it's going to cost him, only time will tell. But Dimitrov gets out of jail there because he was wobbling big time, but he leads 4-3.
Time.
So how important will that last game prove to be for Dimitrov, getting himself out of danger for now. 3-4.
15.
He was quite fortunate on those break points, wasn't he? Sort of big second serve, just getting the line.
Again, not even a chase. With a shadow of the man who we've been used to seeing for so long this year.
13.
Yeah, just hurting, isn't he? I mean, there's not an awful lot of effort to recover after that shot.
Yeah, what that replay doesn't show you is that Dimitrov just having a few words with Roger Rashid at the back of the court. They exchanged a couple of things, and I can only think, you can only think he's not right. I mean, that's just a lunge, isn't it?
Yeah, that forehand, that's just one step. I mean, normally you see Dimitrov, there'd be lots of little steps in there.
Game Zverev. New balls, please.
Yeah, it's almost an advantage, isn't it, for the young guys at this time of the year. Nothing to lose there, if you like, a little fresher than a lot of the top players. As we've seen this week, already highlighted Wawrinka, the struggle yesterday.
Only won 11 points in the entire match against Zverev's serve. Concerning day as far as Dimitrov goes, whose season is in danger despite the final in the weekend of rather, with a bit of a whimper. How disappointing would that be from Dimitrov's perspective? Of course, he made the final in Stockholm. We shouldn't forget that. But since Wimbledon, of course, that defeat to Monfils, it made the round of 16 at the US Open. But the results have been a little disappointing in the second half of the year, assuming he loses here.
Yeah, it is disappointing. You know, it's a long season, isn't it? It's a long year.
13.
And obviously the work with Rashid, you know, is something he might not be used to, working that much harder, physically having to work. An easy shot, that backhand. It's beautiful. I mean, the way he shapes up for it, it's very difficult to read where this one's going. So he's got all the time in the world. Nice early preparation, good footwork.
Amazing how the two-handed backhand has for a lot of the top guys. You think of Murray, you think of Djokovic, best shots in the game, probably the two-handed backhand. And,
14.
Zverev and Coric, both guys we've seen today, that's their better shot, isn't it? The man I mentioned earlier on, Rublev as well, has a pretty good two-hander on him. And despite us perhaps riding this man off, he is still hanging in there. 5-4 he leads, and the pressure a little more on Zverev now.
Time.
Yeah, we were talking about the two-handed backhand earlier on, just at the end of the last game, and very similar to the Djokovic, the way the stroke is produced, isn't it? Zverev's backhand too. Djokovic's two-hander. Strong turn of the upper body. It's really sort of simple, mechanically very simple.
Yeah, better point. Dimitrov, better width there in those ground shots. Nice angle
Round 15.
to create the opening.
For once, Dimitrov able to outlast the German.
Love 30.
Just got to look over the other side of the net there. Whenever he hits it wide,
15.
Dimitrov is asked to move out for the shot. The Bulgarian really looks though he's struggling.
And that was a very clear sign. And he's not going full out.
Attention.
That's tremendous. Brave took it on.
And what he does well, I've seen a lot of juniors struggle on, is the change in the direction of the shots from the backhand side. I mean, able to move around that shot, nice contact in front.
Well, for once he delivers a bit of sting off the ground. He's been so passive in his shell. He comes out of it.
Use. Advantage, Dimitrov.
Oh, shaky forehand. Dimitrov not doing anything out of the ordinary, but he's got a set point here. The change of pace did for Zverev. Dimitrov slicing and dicing him up. Then we're level here in Basel. One more set.
Yeah, I don't know, I managed to get that second set under his belt, Dimitrov, but somehow he found a way. So good effort from him, but Dimitrov really having to fight hard just to hang in there early on again in that second set. Zverev a couple of opportunities, wasn't able to take them, maybe just a few too many unforced errors creeping in towards the end of that second set, and Dimitrov doing a little better on the return of serve as well, so certainly a little bit of improvement. Dimitrov also just needs to pay attention to that first serve percentage also, but pretty tight match out there. Dimitrov at times has looked a little cagey with his movement around the back of the court, doesn't seem quite right. Unfortunately, from Zverev's point of view, just wasn't quite able to take the advantage. All to play for now in the third. Welcome back, Phil.
Thank you, Chris. It's been a curious display, hasn't it, from the Wimbledon semi-finalist Dimitrov for the best part of 2 sets. Out of sorts. Alex Zverev with a mature performance, and yet Dimitrov somehow has levelled the match. Can he up his level in this deciding set? You feel he's going to probably have to. Not moving at all well, Bulgarian tonight. And this timing shots on both wings. Backhand in particular has been suspect at times. And he's lacked any intensity, Chris.
Yeah, he's been very flat. Probably played his best tennis in the end of that second set. Now, the interesting thing for me is how Zverev is going to respond after losing that second set. I mean, the first 3 points here suggest that there may be still a little bit of a hangover from losing that second.
Definitely a few signs that Dimitrov is beginning to warm to the task. Zverev, in a sense, a lot more to do now than he has in the first 7 3/4. Managed to retrieve the early break in that second set. Dimitrov scoring the second break of serve when it mattered most.
And what's worked well, like the last 10-15 minutes for Dimitrov, it's been that slice backhand. You know, he's knifing it, he's staying low. A few more mistakes now from Zverev, just trying to deal with that variety.
Still a few surprising errors from the racket of the Bulgarian, albeit that his level has gone up a notch or two. Good scrambling from Zverev. Disappointing way, Dimitrov to end the point there.
Yeah, that's the movement there that has been the struggle. Whether he's in pain when he moves to that side, not quite sure, but certainly discomfort again.
One game apiece. Time for an Emirates fact for you. Grigor Dimitrov, the only Bulgarian man to break the top 10 Emirates ATP rankings with a career high of number 8 in August. Currently at 11 in the world, but not so far displaying the sort of form that got him into the top 8.
Again, look at the movement after the forehand there. Very uncomfortable for Dimitrov. So with his movement issues this evening, he's doing incredibly well. You can look at the positives here and think how well he's doing to be in this position.
Zverev showing just one or two signs of frustration. His level has dropped a little. Still perhaps feeling the disappointment of the manner in which the second set slipped away. He knows he's got a big chance this evening. Dimitrov below par. Dear. Well, that was a tired option, wasn't it? Going for the drop shot so early in the piece and never really looked like executing it. Still a game point, however. Dimitrov folds then, even though he is clearly struggling with his game. 2-1 final set over Alex Zverev.
Time.
We've got Dimitrov with the advantage, serving first in this deciding set. It's been a lackluster display by and large. Alex Zverev taking the opening set comfortably, losing the second by 2 breaks to 1. Does he still believe he can topple the number 5 seed? 1-2.
Net versus.
That's the way he's got to play now. Sort of try and just expose the struggle from the back of the court. Dimitrov keep enough balls in, but more importantly, keep the Bulgarian on the move.
Dimitrov is showing the ball on the left far side line. The ball was called in.
Just caught the edge of the line. Good call.
39. Mr. Dimitrov has 2 challenges.
Zverev's 4th ace of the match.
Fortunate.
Too heavy-handed there from Zverev. Plenty of time even for a struggling Dimitrov to get there and pick his options.
And watch the spin take effect here off the deep slice drop shot. Swerving off to the left. Good stretch from Dimitrov, hits the baseline.
Yeah, good dig from the German, but what a stretch here from Dimitrov. It's a bit annoying, isn't it, from Zverev's point of view? He's probably thinking, okay, this guy, 1 minute, it looks as though he can't move, he's injured, and then he's stretching, getting shots like that back.
Well, quite. I think wrong with his movement on that occasion.
Use. Mr. Zverev, he's staying the ball on the left baseline. The ball was put out. Consensus. Advantage, Dimitrov.
3 straight points then for the Bulgarian.
2 changes again.
Zverev under pressure once more. Point.
Next, first service.
Been a familiar pattern this evening, hasn't it? No real rhythm, no consistency in the Dimitrov
Use.
ground strokes, particularly on that backhand wing.
I noticed also that Zverev just getting pushed back a little deeper in some of these rallies. Dimitrov able to dictate a little more often.
Zverev holds on. Vital hold for the young German from break point down. This match still very much up for grabs. Seventh ace of the night for Dimitrov.
Dimitrov.
The quality of the tennis is not of the highest calibre at the moment, but Dimitrov won't mind too much as long as he stays in front. 3-2, the Bulgarian leads in the deciding set.
Time.
Zverev still with an opportunity to take out a big name here in Basel. Final set, 2-3 on serve against Grigor Dimitrov, who's not been himself this evening, but has battled back to level it. Every time he's looked, Chris, as though he's getting into a rhythm, Dimitrov, he comes up with an unforced error, and a big one as well.
Yeah, both players just going for a patch. They're both sparring from the back of the court. Feel that the match is there for either player just to really take. He's gone just a little flat.
Crowd still enjoying it. Dimitrov does have the advantage of serving first. Puts extra pressure on Zverev, particularly as we head towards the business end of this decider. That was a little wild from the teenager. And Dimitrov, without having to do too much, has a chance to score that key break.
It's amazing as well. Dimitrov, a little more spark in his movement. That was a little uncomfortable, but movement to the forehand was excellent.
Seemed to wince with pain there as he played that backhand. Perhaps there is some sort of injury issue for him. Oh dear. Well, that's a bit of a gift for Grigor Dimitrov. Alex Zverev not quite producing the tennis that he achieved in the very early stages. Pretty new, of course, to this level. Dimitrov now in command. 4-2. A couple of games from booking his place in the second round. I don't think he'll take a huge amount out of this match if he wins, except the result. But he's still got a bit of work to do. 4-2. Final set.
You can look back to the middle of that second set where Zverev had a couple of break points, 15-40. It was a 3 or 3-4. Wasn't able to convert. In many ways, Dimitrov has played his get out jail free card today.
Yeah, and that after breaking back, of course, having trailed 3-love, that was, is increasingly looking like a turning point. Unforced error, followed by another one in the shape of a double fault. His 7th of the night. Beg your pardon, 5th. 7 aces. Half a chance for Zverev. Yeah, well, having got the break, Dimitrov in danger of gifting a break straight back again. That sort of match. Good start from Dimitrov, wasn't it? Kept the ball nice and deep, kept the pressure on Zverev.
I like the way he built the point as well. Quite a few slices in there, keeping it low. Then he had the forehand, raised it higher, pushing Zverev back. Only forced the mistake.
15-40 to deuce. What a great angle. One of the best points Dimitrov has played tonight.
Getting a real test for the movement. Lovely angle here, coming around the ball.
Advantage, Dimitrov.
Zverev visibly frustrated. Had a chance to break straight back there, Dimitrov, with some indifferent tennis, but he certainly upped his game at the end to lead 5-2 in the decider.
He almost felt he got a little frustrated in the beginning of the third set, having lost the second. Mentally, he's just been a little bit up and down. And you can't really say that Dimitrov has been playing the best tennis of his life this evening. He's just doing enough to get through.
Penny for Roger Rashid's thoughts. Curious performance from Dimitrov tonight. no more than a 6 out of 10 really, as regards Dimitrov's end of match report, if we are indeed headed that way now. But he has a 5-2 lead in the decider, having been a set behind to teenager Alex Zverev. I'm sure from Dimitrov's point of view it's all about getting the win and regrouping for the next round. Still an outside chance, Chris, of making the World Tour finals, Dimitrov.
You kind of feel he's got to win this week and have a good run in Paris. But on the back of the display today, you have to say that he's struggling. You know, physically, he hasn't looked in great shape.
Just a reminder, there are still 3 places to play for. Andy Murray currently occupying the 8th and final spot. He won today in Valencia. Thomas Berdych going out early, which is a blow to his hopes.
Yeah, assuming Dimitrov gets through this one, it's not easy. Vasek Pospisil waiting in the next round.
Going to have to improve his returning against the giant Canadian.
Yeah, it's another one of those points where Dimitrov has got no right to win it. He's just hanging in the point, struggling to move. There's some swash shots going on there, and Zverev is pulling that trigger a little too soon.
The third double of the night for Zverev. Now from 40 love to deuce for the German, who is perilously close to defeat now. Dimitrov just outlasting his opponent, finishing in style with that nice angle on the backhand pass. And from 40 love up, 4 straight points against Zverev, who's facing match point. Dimitrov, after a lung-busting rally, the longest of the match, gets it done in 3 sets. A long way from convincing from the number 5 seeded Bulgarian. Lacking intensity at times, and certainly seemed to be struggling physically, but he warmly congratulates Alex Zverev on the effort he put in, and Zverev is certainly a name to remember. He will be back for sure, but Dimitrov, without being at his best, has got through, and that is all that will matter for him. He's won 6-2 in the decider.
Yeah, looks very relieved, doesn't he? I've said, out of the two, it's strange to sort of say this with Dimitrov being a youngster himself, but the more experienced player came through that one. I think that was the important thing. Just when it mattered most, I just felt that Dimitrov just dug a little deeper. You know, good example of that last point. I mean, Zverev, I felt, as that third set went on, it didn't really hurt enough. You know, he just prepared just to rally and trade, and I got to a point where Dimitrov knew that, so he just felt, I'll just keep slicing the backhand, keep that ball in court, and keep asking the questions. And you know, there's no doubt that Dimitrov physically was struggling out there. Whether there's an injury or not, we'll have to maybe find out. But from his point of view, it's a case of getting the job done, and he was able to do that.
Yes, if you're not playing your best, at least give it your all, and he certainly kept battling, didn't he? Might have lost this match in straight sets, but managed to get that key break right at the end of set 2, and you always got the sense, even though his game remained rather erratic, that he was the stronger player in the decider. So it proved, as he whacks a few autograph balls into the crowd, who've had some great entertainment today. He can reflect on a good win, if not a good performance, and I'm sure he will hope that whatever physical issues he may have can be rectified before his next match against Basel, where he will certainly have to raise his game if he wants to go any further and keep alive his hopes of a spot at the O2 in London next month, a season-ending finale. Here is the tail of the tape.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the numbers, there's little to choose between them, in all fairness. I mean, the unforced error is very similar. Dimitrov, just a few more winners. But I just felt in the end it came down to who played smartest at the right times. I guess when you look at that, the breakpoint opportunities, 3 out of 14 is maybe an area that says there if he could have won more, might have ran away with the match. But certainly that second set, the middle of the second, where he had those break points, that was the moment that he allowed Dimitrov back into the match. And I think that just comes down to experience. You put yourself in this environment against the best players, then you learn.
Let's remind you of how the draw stands then. Following this evening's final singles match, we see Dimitrov facing Pospisil. That could be a cracker if Dimitrov can recover from whatever physical issues he might have. Pospisil, a big server, finalist in Washington, of course, at the expense of Raonic, who pipped him to the title. Istomin against Federer, who was sublime against Gilles Muller of Luxembourg earlier. He is going to take some stopping on that form, the top-seeded Swiss.